to another episode of Bullheaded. This is episode 31. I am here, Sean Tyson, as your host, and I'm chilling with Zoo and Peebush. What's up, fellas?
Doing well, man. Great Super Bowl Sunday. Zoo, I'm sure, is not feeling the same way. Busy at work. It's just been it's been a rough week for Zoo. I think we can all agree on that one.
Yeah, a long week of work, man. I think I've been working 6-7 straight days, man, on the weekends. And that Super Bowl, I'm trying to get away from work. Absolute disgrace of a performance. That offensive line, pathetic. Absolutely atrocious. Mahomes was like a guy under gunfire, man. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Let me say, man, it was a sad, sad Sunday. Lost a lot of money, too. I had a lot of bets.
I won a lot.
On the Chiefs winning, man. And I was so wrong.
I had it all on the Bucks, baby.
Yeah, I lost some decent change. Not even going to front. Like Zoo was saying, man, the Super Bowl was built up to be this huge, game with Mahomes and Brady and all the skill talent, and the defense is somewhat on more so on Tampa Bay side. And when we got to the game, it was just an old-fashioned ass kicking by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes,
and
it was.
It basically proved one point: you have to stop betting against Brady. Like in any scenario you have, like, it does not matter. We just gotta accept that this man Brady is just gonna always end up getting it done. And it sometimes sucks to say because you got guys like Mahomes, Rodgers. You hope for the best, but it's like I've learned my lesson. Like it's my fault that I lost that money. So I'm gonna ask the fellas right now, their reaction to the game, what they thought were the biggest keys, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with P-Bush on this one since he had the right pick.
I don't like to sulk in it too much, Zoo. So I'm not gonna bash it in your head too much. But look, man, I think we talked about this last week. Like the biggest keys were the offensive line for the Chiefs. Those two tackles, man. Mahomes running for nearly 500 yards around the scrimmage line all game. That is ridiculous. 500 scrimmage yards, man. Oh my goodness. But look, I think a lot of people might blame it on like the penalties, and there were some drop passes and all that. Dude, it was such a bad butt whooping that those plays didn't even matter, man. They didn't even matter. And I think that's like where the biggest surprise for me was. It would be different if it was like when the Rams Saints and they'd missed that pass interference call against the Saints, right? Or against the Rams on the Saints wide receiver. And that lost them the game because it was a one possession game to go to the Super Bowl, all that. Man, but Brady, the master, came out, and with the prodigy, he had a chance. He gave it his all. And I can't hate on Mahomes too much because he was throwing dimes, like falling over half the time. He was getting tackled from behind.
Two of his passes hit his guy's face mask, man. And they were like perfect throws. It just hit them in the face.
I honestly think that, I think the one third down that Travis Kelce dropped was huge. That was unprecedented. He still had a good game. I mean, he was targeted 15 times. He had 10 catches. I'd say a couple of those were uncatchable just because of all the pressure. But, man, that Bucs defense, they should have won the MVP. I mean, but there was so many good plays by so many different players that they couldn't give it to any one guy. Devin White, you got Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean, it was just an unbelievable performance. Shaq Barrett was doing whatever he wanted on that offensive line. I've never seen Mahomes under that much pressure, man. And they just looked ill-prepared. I honestly just think Andy Reid did not prepare his team well enough. I think maybe there was a little background noise going on with the family and all that. Linebacker coach who, the linebackers ended up getting absolutely torched by Rob Gronkowski. So it's not like they had a great game, but Zoo, I got to hand it over to you. I have to see what you got to say about this. Because it was one of your Tom Brady, or not Patrick Mahomes, but one of those Tom Brady giving Patty Mahomes some of his own medicine, man.
My Lord. That was the most disappointing Super Bowl of all time, man. Yeah. I thought I was going to witness greatness. And the Kansas City Chiefs put up 9 points. 9 points against the Buccaneers, and you had all your offensive weapons. I don't care if your lineman went injured. Figure it out, man. Next man up mentality. But what did I see? What did I see? The disgrace. That disgraceful offensive line, man. Mahomes, that man should be infuriated with the patheticness of the ability to protect, because the man was about to get slaughtered by the Buccaneers, man. He was a man that was about on life support, man. He was on life support the amount of times he had to run against this team, man. And my Lord, man, I felt the exhaustion. I felt the frustration. Oh my God, looking at that man trying to throw his passes, man. The guy didn't have time to throw the damn football, man. No. He had no time, even though his weapon, but even though I got to give the Bucs defense, man, Travis Kelce couldn't get open, man. No. Couldn't get open. Tyreek Hill, I forgot Tyreek Hill played, man. I forgot Tyreek Hill. After that dude dropped 200 in a quarter, man. And that dude was Casper the Ghost, man, in the Super Bowl, man. Talking his trash. I'm sorry, Tyrann Matthew. That penalty.
Don't poke the bear, man.
That trash to Tom Brady, the GOAT. Absolutely pathetic, man. Absolutely pathetic. And all the penalties, bro.
Yeah.
We'll be on third down penalty and just give them a free first down. I don't know how many penalties against the Chiefs, but it was way too many to count because I got so sick of it, man.
The offsides on the field goal was atrocious.
Oh, my Lord. Before halftime, man. What the hell was that?
To the Packers. He scored. AB, man. Hey, I was happy that AB scored. Shout out AB. You know, no drama from AB all year. I think being with Tom Brady, you know, that was just a great pairing that, you know, people never knew needed to happen. But man, oh man. You know what I do?
Tom Brady's ridiculous, man.
He is ridiculous. He had a perfect
first half, man.
He had a perfect. He had a
99 out of 100, man. A+.
Yeah, exactly. His second half, I mean, they just kind of held the lead. Fournette had a monster game. He's just been and Rojo, they both averaged 5 yards a carry, and that's actually where I had the biggest quarrel with the Saints or the Chiefs. Though was Edwards-Helaire was playing well. He didn't run the ball. They didn't run the ball.
7 yards a carry, man.
And
64 yards.
And they were even running in the third quarter too, you know, playing down, but you got to get something going, especially when you're getting that much pressure. That could have relieved so much, especially because they only blitzed I think they only blitzed 5 times that entire game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got pressure. They got that pressure with 4 guys. They got pressure on 70% while only blitzing like 10% or something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it was a ridiculous ratio. And I think they needed to run the ball more. It was clearly working, and for some reason, because the Bucs were the number 1 rush defense in the league, right up there with the Saints. It was just an abysmal performance, man. I kind of have to put a lot of this on Andy Reid for the play calling. He was not helping Mahomes, but no one was helping themselves. That entire team played horribly, and the entire Bucs team in every facet was playing beautifully. It was too much.
Yeah, this is Tom Brady's greatest achievement in his career.
You think so?
I think it's the greatest run.
Absolutely. This guy goes to a different franchise. COVID season, no chemistry. Yeah, this guy legit, he pulls a LeBron. This guy recruits everybody. He gets Leonard Fournette. He gets Antonio Brown out of suspension. That dude has criminal charges. He got him to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, man. He get Rob Gronkowski out of retirement. Gets him, looks like Rob Gronkowski with 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. That dude's wide open the entire game. That dude's wide open the entire game. Gronk looked like the Gronk. So this man gets all these weapons, man. He unites, builds chemistry. People love playing with Tom. He's got that intangible, man. He's got leadership ability. He galvanized the troops, and he just slaughtered the Chiefs, who's going for a back-to-back, man. I don't know if things would change if the O-lineman didn't tear his Achilles. I don't know what would have happened. But after this performance, I still think they would have won if their offense was rolling, man. That first half was a clinic, man. Clinic. Even though, but I know because people were overrated. People said the Chiefs' defense is low-key good. No, it isn't. It's all about the offense. Just stop it, man. That's trash. Talking trash. No, they're bad, man. The secondary trash. They never get to the QB, man. Tom Brady did not get touched that game. Yeah. He had all the time in the world. Yeah, only one time.
It was in the first drive. I think he got sacked on the first drive.
Exactly, man.
It looked like it was going to be a good game. The first quarter. It looked like
defensive showcase in the first quarter.
Yeah, exactly. It was a defensive showcase, and then man, I think the stupid penalties turned the game mentally. It definitely turned the game, and I mean, you could blame a couple of the PI calls, defensive holding calls, but dude, at the end of the day, I mean, like they're gonna call some of those. I mean, no matter how ticky tack they are, it just happens. And of course, since it goes in Brady's way, everyone's like, "Oh, it's Tom Brady." But if it went Mahomes' way, it would have been the same thing. Right, so you can't make everyone happy, right? So I just wanted a good game. We didn't get that. It was honestly, it could have been. It rivaled the Patriots Rams in how boring it was to watch at some points, especially in the second half.
This was more boring because the game was over in the third quarter. It was over.
It was over. At least the Rams.
Yeah, it was at least a one possession game. So a little, even though it was even more low scoring. But this game. Patrick Mahomes' worst loss in his career because this man has only lost one time by double digits against the Colts. And the second time it's in the Super Bowl, team gives up 31 points. He only puts up 9 points, man, 2 interceptions. Man, I don't even blame the last one. That guy, he's just trying to
make a play. He was trying to make a play.
But this will hurt, man. This will hurt because he had a chance to make history, man, going back to back against the GOAT. Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, man. But he could have inched closer, man. Like Tom Brady was here, man. He could have built his resume up here.
No,
Tom Brady went up here. So the gap.
He just had to he had to teach him how it's done. He had to teach him how it's done. That hey, you ride high all year. You're in one of the most divisions in the league. That's 6 games right there to go 15-1. You lose one of them to the Raiders. It was bound to happen, man. Repeats don't happen much. And he's got the same trajectory as Russell Wilson right now, as in like win, loss, win, and then he lost to Brady in the Super Bowl, so on. So they have very similar starts to the career, but Mahomes is obviously way better.
I think Mahomes, it's kind of a little premature now in terms of him reaching like Brady's stature. I don't think any quarterback is going to be able to reach that. But I do think it's going to be similar to how like Mike and LeBron is, and I'm going to tell you why. I think with like Mahomes, he's more of a wow guy just in terms of his talent. So like, let's just say Mahomes gets, because a lot of people get in this thing like you got to match the same amount of Super Bowls or you got to match the same amount of championships to even be considered. I don't believe in that. Like, I feel like if you're in around the ball, like you can't have 2 championships and somebody has 7. And like, you got to be somewhere in the ballpark. I feel like Mahomes, let's just say he gets 3 more, maybe 4, and he's like at 4 or 5. And that's saying a lot right now to how he looked in the Super Bowl. But like, if he got that many, I feel like there will be a lot of people that will try to say he's the GOAT just off of his talent. Because I feel like with the GOAT argument, like what makes Michael so great, Michael didn't just win 6 championships. He also was like the most athletic. He was dunking on everybody. He was scoring. Like he looked like the GOAT type of player. Yeah, like Brady, I still feel like with Brady, even though I agree he's a GOAT, I still feel like with him that they feel like, he's just, regular quarterback. He's no wow to him. Mahomes is doing like that throw he had that I don't know if he completed it, but he was like parallel or horizontal to the ground. Yeah. That is some worldly, like that ain't human stuff. So, like, I feel like if he is still making throws like that and continues and wins, people are going to make the case for him because he's more – it's the same thing I feel like Rodgers could have had because Rodgers was a better thrower of the football. He made more wild throws. Rodgers just only has 1 championship, so nobody really puts him in that thing. But Mahomes still has a chance. But this did hurt. It did hurt because he got his butt kicked pretty bad.
And now Brady has more Super Bowls than any franchise.
That's freaking wild. Why? If I'm Brady, do you come? If you're Brady, do you come back or do you just say this is it? I'm done.
Go back.
No, I'm going for 8.
You're going back.
Yeah, this dude, man. I'm telling you, man. I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was the most balanced team in NFL, and they proved it in the Super Bowl. Because I always thought the Chiefs' defense was suspect. Buccaneers, good offense, good defense. So they were the better overall team. But I thought Mahomes could have pulled a miracle, but that miracle ended, man. That miracle ended.
Really quick.
Tonight.
Really quick. Do you guys think this is another matchup next year or this coming year? Like this will happen again? I think it can.
I don't know. It's too early to tell, but I would probably say
the
Buccaneers have to be the favorites because they're defending champions, and I think the whole team, man, they might return because I don't know something about
Brady.
People want to play with Brady, man. Even doing pay cuts.
Yeah. They got the taste of winning. and celebrating in Florida.
Yeah, that party looked crazy yesterday.
Yeah,
that was pretty nice. But switching gears to the NBA, and we're going to be talking about I guess you can call him grizzled veteran and Derrick Rose. I don't know if this was his wish, but he got traded to the New York Knicks and reunited with Tom Thibodeau. I think I read a stat where Tom Thibodeau has always been his coach or had him playing as a player with him on his team. And I think he got dope for a second-round pick, and Dennis Smith Jr. went to Detroit. So a lot of Knicks fans I saw online, they were kind of semi-excited because the team is actually playing with it. I guess I wouldn't say really well, but they're playing better than what people expected.
Yeah, they're actually in the playoff hunt.
Yeah,
which
it's
was
kind of
not
great.
the expectation.
Yeah. I think New York Knicks fans will take that at this rate. And like you say, with Dallas, the Mavericks not looking as good. Like there's a lot of decent momentum going for the Knicks if they can get a nice pick with Dallas if Dallas keeps struggling. But
yeah,
we're going to talk about Derrick Rose and how we think, I guess, his impact is going to be on the New York Knicks. And Zoo, what you see? What do you see for Derrick Rose and his tenure?
I'm happy for my man D Rose because you know why? He was on the Detroit Pistons, one of the worst teams I ever seen in the league's history. Man, that team just knows how to blow games, and they are always decently competitive, but they just find a way to lose, man. Find a way to lose. Like Jaren Grant's the best player on the team. That roster is pretty pathetic. Some of those signings this year, like we discussed, man, like the signing of Mason Plumlee, man, I still don't know how that man got $8 million for being a scrum. Bro. He's a scrub. He's a backup center, man. There's no way.
Yeah, he's just an energy guy.
Oh my lord! No, you don't pay an energy guy $8 million.
yeah.
Packs when they sign Cristiano.
You pay Cristiano Felicio $8 million.
$8 million, bro. That's ridiculous. Like that roster, just everything about that franchise is absolutely pathetic. So D Rose had to get out, help a team that's actually in the playoff hunt, right? With this play-in tournament, man, the playoff hunt is so much more interesting because so many more teams could make it to the 8th, 7th seed, right? Because you got the Knicks and Bulls, Miami and Cleveland. They're all in the hunt for the 9th and 10th seed right now. And the Knicks right now are the game out. They're the closest team to get in the 8th seed right now. So they are in win now mode. Tom Thibodeau, that dude doesn't tank, man. That dude's all about grinding and winning. He has implemented a defense that is actually really, really impressive, man. Allowing one of the league best 103.9 points per game. Is number one in the East. Like right now, when scoring is historically high with all this 3-point shooting and these offenses and higher pace, man. So everyone's scoring easily 110, 120. Like they're actually one of the only teams holding teams to 80 points. Man.
Yep.
Like that's 03 like Pistons, man. That's some ugly basketball, man. So they got
some on defense.
So they need some offense. And what D Rose can still do, get buckets, man. He's still averaging 14 points a game, man. This guy can still drive him. Like, still got the floater game, man. Him and Isaiah quickly, man, both with the best floater games in the NBA right now. So right now they want to get some offense right now. And D Rose, I think he'll be a 6th man probably. Isaiah quickly, D Rose, man. Like I don't know how that's gonna work because that whole
they have a lot of big men.
Yeah, they do got a lot of big men, but man, the Knicks, man. I like the move. Dennis Smith Jr., irrelevant draft pick, 2nd round picks, whatever, irrelevant. So you give away 2 relevant pieces and you get a relevant player in Derrick Rose. That's a win. And if you're aiming for the playoffs, and I don't know that that's going to be able to help their young guys develop a little faster. RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, man, they might, as Shawnee mentioned, the high draft pick from the Dallas Mavericks, man, in a good draft. This is
a good draft.
Really good draft.
Not last year's draft. This is a good draft. So
like
this is a highly rated draft. Like even a top 10 pick might be a instant impact player, man. Knicks' future is actually bright, which is pretty cool to say, man. Something to say, man. It sounds ironic.
It's been about 10 years.
It's been a while.
Ever since I feel like everything went downhill when Amari punched that fire extinguisher, man. I think that was just the downhill. That was the Billy Goat Tavern moment, like the Cubs had way back when. But man, I'm pumped for D Rose, dude. I think he can give you 18 and 6 a night if you let him. I really think and Thibodeau knows him. And I think that's the biggest thing is that he's not just going back to New York where he's already played before, but he's going back with young talent, guys that like to run. You got Obi Toppin just sprinting up and down the floor, ready to flush one down at any moment. But I think that the biggest thing is that Thibodeau knows that Rose could be like a solid defensive leader on that team. He was always a pretty good defender on the Bulls when he was MVP stature. But I think nowadays he's more of a pick and pot. He kind of likes to pick people's pockets. I saw a highlight of him a couple nights back doing that. First game in New York, actually. But look, the Knicks have been playing well. They've lost 2 in a row, I think, as of the time this is Thursday.
I need my Bulls to make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to root for Rose, but hey, they're competing with our Chicago Bulls, so we gotta root for the home team.
I'm sorry, D Rose. Zach LaVine is now my favorite player, Mr. 46 points.
Woo, that was a nasty game last night. But look, I think a lot of people kind of discredit Rose a bit just because he's not at his MVP level that everyone remembers, but he's still a damn good player, and the Knicks are definitely going to enjoy him being there with all those big men. They really needed to kind of weigh down on the guard position, bring somebody in who can be explosive, and he's pretty much the epitome of that historically.
Yeah, him and Tibbs reuniting, man. It's so funny, man. This guy,
it's gonna be great.
New York Knicks, man. They linked up when he was on the Timberwolves, and obviously with the Chicago Bulls, man. These two are just a dynamic duo, and they love each other. They both made each other's career. Like D Rose helped make Coach Thibodeau a Coach of the Year, and Coach Tibbs helped make D Rose an MVP. So these guys owe each other a lot for their careers, man. They had their best days in Chicago. Man, not gonna lie, I might be rooting for the Knicks. Shout out to Coach Tibbs, D Rose. They got a soft spot in my heart because they gave me the best Bulls memories. And it's been a while, man. It's been an entire decade, man, since my last good memory with the Bulls.
Yeah. How about the Knicks get the 10 seed and the Bulls, get the 9th seed maybe?
Oh, that would be ideal, man. You'll watch both of them in the play-in tournament, man.
Yeah.
The only thing about Tibbs is he plays his guys a lot of minutes. Like every time I look at their I just glance at the box score.
Yeah,
like,
Julius Randle, man. That's getting a workout.
He's getting a little bang workout.
5 minutes. I was like, man, I don't know what. I guess that's just his philosophy. But yeah, I'm excited to see what D Rose does. I think a lot of people kind of written him off because he just wasn't doing anything since his MVP season. But if you look at his stats, he's been putting up solid numbers. I remember the Lakers and maybe the Clippers were trying to trade him at the trade deadline last year.
He would fit perfectly with them.
Yeah. There's a lot of contenders that were looking to see to get him because he's still a consistent player. He's got a slightly better on the shot, and he can still get into the lane. Like, I think people forget because D Rose was so athletic coming out. Like, there are guys that are coming out now that are at like D Rose has came down because D Rose and I feel like Westbrook was like the two that were like just elite level athletes. But then when Rose got hurt, he just fell down to like really good athlete. Like he didn't become like a crappy athlete. He is still he was like, that high up. Yeah, he was so high up. Like he came down normal now. He's still a guy that can get to the lane and make shots and do all kind of stuff. So yeah, I think with the Knicks mindset, I think the Knicks are probably going to make the playoffs. I don't want to jinx them because they.
That's a hot take, man. That's a hot take.
Don't pull a Stephen A. He does it every year.
Like I guess like you said, I don't know if playoffs and playing are the same thing, but I think they have a chance to be in that mix. I'll say that. I won't go to say they're going to make the playoffs, like top 8. But they have a chance because Thibodeau, man, the thing with him is he don't tolerate none of that BS. He's not for like, okay, we're going to tank. Like Knicks fans may be thinking, oh, tank, get a good pick. No, you can see by how he's playing his guys.
They've been tanking for half a decade.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's the thing. They haven't. I feel like they're the only franchise that has it. Like when Cleveland did it, it benefited them because they got LeBron. Certain franchises do it, it benefits them because they get a great pick. When New York does it, they always end up getting like the pick.
Jordan
before.
Hill.
Like, yeah, something.
To get Jordan Hill.
Yeah. It's like they kind of always just screw it up. Yeah. Oh my, I forgot about him. What I don't even know what draft that was. That
8th overall, man. 8th overall, man. They always get cursed with 8. Even this year, Obi Toppin, man, he's not looking so good in comparison to the other rookies. Because
Tyrese Halliburton,
Patrick Williams, Halliburton. And he would have been.
He's a steal.
He could play off ball, even with the funky looking like jump shot, man. He's long. He can shoot the 3, play defense, like pass, like do all the nitty gritty things. Like a guy he will be in your 8-man rotation for the next 10 years. So
exactly,
he will be a nice player. Could have had him.
If you do the redraft, it's probably LaMelo
top 5
and
pick.
him. Yeah,
top 5 pick.
He's probably. I think he's top 2. He'd be right behind LaMelo. I don't know anybody else.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. LaMelo Ball, man.
There's
a reason I wanted him on the Bulls, man. There was a reason he looking like a true point guard, man. True point guard.
At 6'7".
That would have been a crazy backcourt with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. LaMelo LaVine.
Like that 3-headed monster would have been crazy.
Yeah.
They popped off last night.
Yeah, but I like Williams. Williams, didn't he score 20 not too long ago?
Yeah, he's getting double-digit buckets.
And he's a baby, dude. He's like, he just turned, like 19?
Dude, he's the youngest player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, 19 years old, man. 19 years old. He's the youngest guy in the NBA, man. He was born in the 2000s. Just think of that.
Yes. Wild to think about. God, dog. Born in the 2000s is just getting 20 points in the NBA. That's just
Gen Z, man. Gen Z.
Yeah, that is crazy. Gen Z just waking up getting buckets in the NBA. But yeah. But that's all the time we have for today. We just wanted to do 2 quick topics, more of a, just reaction to the Super Bowl, quick little D-Rose today. Next week, we should be back to 3. I'm talking about probably more NBA. We're going to definitely get a college basketball topic again because March Madness is right around the corner. So we got to see which teams people are feeling, who they think has a chance to win the whole thing. But as usual, you guys make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our social media app. Bullheaded_pod, Spotify, Apple. Pretty sure we're on Google Play, that whole thing. I think we're on there now, so you guys can check with that. And as always, for me, Zoo, P. Bush, we out.